We do have breaking news today. 4 people are dead, including 2 children, after what appears to be a murder-suicide in La Junta. We just learned about this a little over an hour ago. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Helmuth. You just heard ABC News coverage of the remarks following that Pennsylvania press conference after what the FBI is now officially calling an assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. Good evening. I'm Josh Helmuth alongside Heather Skold. Heather, the biggest things to take away from that press conference: number one, they believe there's one shooter. They believe they know who it is, but they're not ready to identify that shooter quite yet. The Highland Lake subdivision right here, where the fire started, going all the way through Golden Bell, Broken Wheel, Aspen Village, all this area, Hines, these neighborhoods. If you're not already out, you need to get out now. You're under extreme danger. As of this morning, Ticketmaster, the cheapest tickets you can find, counting fees, $600 a pop. That's for the nosebleeds. You want to be down near the glass? We're talking $2,000 to $4,000 per ticket. When you look at El Paso County, Trump right in line with how he did in 2020, with 53% of the vote. Harris actually gained momentum, did better than Biden did 4 years ago here in El Paso County. But Pueblo County, the one county in Colorado that flipped. This was a county Biden won 4 years ago. So, Congresswoman, you do acknowledge that the temperature does need to be taken down a notch. How will you do that? And what would be, of all the issues you just listed, what will be your number one, the first issue you'll tackle first? Millions of kids play every single year. They do so in dozens of countries and in all 50 states. It's a national pastime since the 30s. But today, Little League has a big problem. And the biggest curveball was thrown during the off season, right here in Colorado Springs. Bob was 8 cars behind the president. Bob was instructed to unload his camera and toss his film to a reporter at the corner of Main and Houston. That's the moment Bob heard shots not coming from any camera. Gold definitely helped put Colorado Springs and Colorado in general on the map. But soon later, there was one woman in particular who really won over hearts here in Colorado. Her name, Catherine Lee Bates. Now, if you're lucky or clever enough to find one of these wish lamps, you'll see a QR code on the box like this one. You scan that with your phone, where you'll get a link showing a big congratulations, but most importantly, the entire time you're on security camera, and you have to shoot yourself on your cell phone, proving that you're actually the one who discovered it. These are hard to find. I went to Lowe's early this morning to try to find some for my wife and my kids, and they were sold out. Went to another hardware store, they were sold out. The library district now, they are out as well. And you need these if you want to safely view the eclipse. Otherwise, you'll do permanent damage to your retina. You don't want that to happen. But I want to introduce you to a new friend I made over the past few minutes. His name is Stan. I'm calling him Stan the Man.
Oh,
Stan.
Hey, how you doing?
Stan, you are 81 years young. There's an emptiness that follows immense tragedy. Shadows cast over once bright lights. Echoes of voices now lost. Some read words from a silent symphony, too deafening
I don't know if I can get through this.
to bear.
There was a beautiful boy at the end of the trail. There was a beautiful boy with his arms out, facing the wind out of the valley and the clay rock. He's wishing the world would notice him. He's wishing the world would know him. I'm wishing for more clouds so he can point to the sky and tell me which objects he thinks they look like.
Born a girl, Delaney Davis Aston grew up to be Daniel Aston, and he always had a way with words.
That was the part of his sweetness, you know.
It took years, but Sabrina and Jeff Aston dropped a few lines of their own, convincing their son to leave Tulsa, their original hometown, for the more open pastures of Colorado Springs. Daniel did not miss a beat.
He had more friends. He had almost as many friends as in Tulsa within 2.5 years. Just crazy.
Especially at a place called Club Q.
He loved it because he could, do the drag king thing and, and wear different jackets. He liked the 80s hair bands, so he'd put these, wigs on and wear big shoulders.
Shoulders built to lean on.
He had hit his stride those last couple of years.
And a lean, ready to shoulder a tremendous burden.
I remember distinctly the last 2 times I saw him, before he got killed, I told him, and I don't know why I told him this, but I just said, I'm proud of you. And I was.
Club Q. Active shooter, all units respond. Reports of 10 people shot. Let's make this a mass casualty.
Breaking news right now in Colorado Springs. Police say at least 5 people are dead, 18 others injured after a mass shooting at a nightclub.
Got initial phone call at about 11:57 in the evening that there was an active shooting at a local club known as Club Q.
Sabrina and Jeff rushed to the hospital and then waited.
So we sat there, and then finally they said, why don't you just go home, and then we'll, when we find something, we'll call you immediately, And instead they knocked on the door. It was like, the soldier's wife. You knew what was going to happen, And I was just like, I'm not opening this door. Because I know it's going to be bad news, and it was.
Daniel was just 28 years old, very likely the first life taken the night of November 19th, 2022.
Daniel wasn't supposed to be up there. I think Daniel was honestly off shift.
Daniel was at the front door of Club Q that night with his friend, Ashton Gamblin. Without Daniel right there, what would have happened to you that night?
I would have been at that door by myself, and I would have been the sole target. Doctors asked what was in front of me.
They knew someone was in front of you.
They knew there was no reason that bullet should have stopped. And I just looked at them and I said, Daniel.
It was Daniel who made that split-second, life-changing decision to step between his friend and the gunman. Ashton took 9 bullets, of which Daniel could not stop.
5 to my left arm, 2 to my right, and 2 to my breast. The one that stayed in my breast, that would have been my downfall.
How often do you think about Daniel and what he did that night?
It's a daily reminder. But Daniel was an absolute lifeline in that bar.
A life who refused to live between the lines at Club Q.
Always just one of the most encouraging people.
And for countless others.
And he helped me too with my transition.
He was just always there for me if I needed to vent or needed any advice.
And he is a huge part of my coming out journey. And I wish that he was still here.
He was a positive influence in the world, and he had a lot more to give the world.
Mm-hmm.
It was taken away from him.
Yeah.
Daniel lived a life in words that illuminated even the darkest of nights.
Last Thursday, I was a king without a queen.
A transgender man who transcended boundaries. Someone who took chapters of struggle.
Last Thursday was never real.
And turned them.
And neither am I.
Into verses of strength.
I am only a king on Thursdays.
Josh Helmuth, KRDO 13, Colorado Springs. Millions of kids play every single year. They do so in dozens of countries and in all 50 states. It's a national pastime since the 30s. But today, Little League has a big problem. And the biggest curveball was thrown during the off season, right here in Colorado Springs. Leaving court with her defensive attorney is Michelle Gore on the right of your screen. We tried asking questions about her case.
Can you tell me your side of the story?
No comment.
Where the money went?
There's no comment.
Would you like to speak on behalf of your client, Ms. Pearl?
We have no comment right now.
I'd really like to hear her side of the story. Do you have anything to say to the parents and children from the Academy of Little League?
But we were shut out. Charged in October with theft and money laundering, Gore is accused of stealing over $123,000 from the Academy Little League in Colorado Springs, where she was a volunteer treasurer. According to court documents, Gore admitted to using league funds for personal reasons, citing a contentious divorce, needing money for legal bills. However, those same documents point out she used the money at places like Old Navy, Southwest Airlines, Target, Lululemon, and Kate Spade, just to name a few, funneling over $100,000 through her PayPal account. Arrest records say she then tried to launder that money through her employer, where she was a controller for a large company. Gore would not interview with us, but did send us a lengthy email insinuating a, quote, debilitating alcohol problem also contributed to the missing money. Documents say Gore's theft went on for a year and a half until Jacob Larkey was brought in as the new league president in December 2023.
I got involved because I was a concerned parent.
He quickly noticed the league's finances were striking out.
You end up with sometimes a group of just a couple of people that control a lot of things within a league, and that's when that financial accountability and transparency can start to erode.
And the balk within the Academy Little League isn't unique. Cliff Defke, Colorado II District Administrator in the Denver Metro, responded he's aware of one instance in which a board member embezzled Little League funds. That was 10-12 years ago. And Dana Palmer, the Assistant District Administrator from the Grand Mesa Little League in Grand Junction, responded, a lot of speculation, but nothing anyone could prove. How much money is unaccounted for that you don't know where it was spent?
$40,000.
Tyler Chubb and Kerry Jones were vice presidents on the board of directors for the High Plains Little League in Falcon.
The thing makes no sense, so why would we pay you to donate?
Both Chubb and Jones were kicked off their board last month. They claim simply because they asked for receipts.
There's never been any budget. There's never been any approval for any purchase ever made. And like I said, there's been no receipts that are being tracked.
The Little League West Regional Office in California, which oversees Colorado, responded to Chubb's concerns via email, saying there would be an audit by an independent third party, and that if documentation isn't provided to the treasurer, the board should take action. We tried calling the head of that board, Jared Holtz, the president of High Plains Little League. He wouldn't respond except for a text saying HPLL is healthy and thriving and ready for another great season, with no response about the audit. So we went straight to the top, asking Little League International about the concerns. They emailed a vague statement saying they'll work directly with local leadership. So who is that local leadership? That would be former District Administrator Mike Cedillos, who we got on the phone, and he admitted there were issues at High Plains.
Jared took over this league when it was totally unorganized. And that's part of the problem with the receipts, because this has gone on too long now. They won't even share with me information.
Cedillos had been the District 5 leader for more than 25 years, in charge of overseeing 9 little leagues in Colorado, including High Plains and Academy. But according to this Westward article from 1999, Cedillos was also accused of stealing money. It says that $250,000 disappeared under his watch while he ran the Southwest Denver Little League back in the late 90s. It also says that Cedillos sued the league, saying that it owed him money. Before the investigation was complete, he won a settlement and he was never charged. We verified the accuracy of this lawsuit from 2 people who were on that case. So we reached out to Cedillos and Little League once again to learn more about the lawsuit. Cedillos never returned our calls. Little League said they were unaware of the lawsuit, and that's when they informed us that Cedillos unexpectedly passed away back on February 6th.
One day somebody wakes up, somebody finds, oh my God, where'd the money go?
John Encampo has nearly 40 years experience working investigations like the Cedillos case. He knows how easy it is for someone to embezzle money out of a little league without proper oversight.
They need to have segregation of duties. They need to have one person open up the mail and check the bills. Okay, another person who signs the checks, another person to review the checks that are going out.
It's clear that if rules aren't enforced,
it can jeopardize the entire existence of the league.
Little league kids will continue to have big dreams stolen.
We could have bought cages and put them out there. We could have bought a lot of different things to teach kids baseball better.
The Academy president has an entire new board, and he says he's actually coaching other presidents in Colorado on how to set up proper financial protocol. Meanwhile, a complaint has been filed with the state attorney general's office for the High Plains Little League finances. In Colorado Springs, Josh Helmuth, KRDO 13 investigates. This is the moment Fernie Martinez knew.
I took a day off work.
He was about to strike it rich. A real life treasure hidden in plain sight.
Here it is.
A tangible bronze wish lamp.
This location's closed, so I looked around anyway, and that's when I found it.
No genie required.
I'm getting a little emotional.
Worth $200,000.
I'm gonna let my kids know. My daughter spotted it, and when she spotted it, that got me, when we went home, I started doing research on it.
After weeks of studying clues, Fernie drove 2 hours from Severance.
So this is the box it was in.
To prove this famous purple castle indeed.
My heart jumped in my throat.
Held riches fit for a king.
I did this because I wanted to build a better model to spread wealth.
Dirk Gibson is a TV producer behind this new real-world treasure hunt.
I visually saw the castle and I thought, oh, that's cool. That kind of fits the vibe of what I'm, positivity and adventure and fun.
He cold called the owner of King's Chef Diner.
My excitement was kind of building, but I couldn't tell anybody.
A downtown staple for nearly 70 years.
The engagement for the community was great, and getting somebody from Colorado to win it is even better.
Now, if you're lucky or clever enough to find one of these wish lamps, you'll see a QR code on the box like this one. You scan that with your phone, where you'll get a link showing a big congratulations, but most importantly, the digits to unlock the padlock in this box right here where the wish lamp fell. The entire time you're on security camera, and you have to shoot yourself on your cell phone, proving that you're actually the one who discovered it.
It was all an adventure. It was, even if we didn't find it, we had a great time.
And if X marks this spot,
he persevered because we all gave up, kind of, but my dad kept trying.
Happily ever after.
Stay skeptical so that less people play, so we have a better chance.
Starts on the breakfast menu.
Hard to put into words.
Josh Helmuth.
That's what it buys, is peace of mind.
KRDO 13.
A month later, we're still on cloud 9.
Colorado Springs.
I still want to get breakfast from there, so.
I know, it sounds good.
Well,